And I'm back. This is what happens when Dustin is not here, you guys. Welcome to Movie Couple Live. This is a show where we talk about the latest in pop culture and movie news. I'm Wendy Lee. So as you can see, Dustin is not here, and Navi refused to sit in the chair with me. So I am literally running the show solo today for the time being before I bring in our good friends late to the party. But you guys are here. You are here ready to talk WandaVision spoilers. Late to the party will be here in 2 seconds. Just want to let you know, Dustin wished so much that he could be here with all of you. He's actually, so good news, he's actually out getting his COVID vaccine. So we're trying to maybe, driving safely and all that stuff. We're hoping that he will get it done a little bit earlier rather than later. So he left a little bit early, so we will see. But without further ado, you guys, please welcome my friends late to the party.
Hello!
Yay! How are you?
Oh, tired, but good, man. It's been a crazy last few months.
Right?
Disney Plus. Yeah, it's been nuts.
Our sleep schedule have been absolutely wacky. Also, you guys, just in case I don't know how you would not know late to the party at this point, because you and I we've all been such good friends for many years now. And I think a lot of our audiences do cross over. But for the people who may be watching you for the very first time on this channel, let them know about you guys and what you guys do.
We are the movie couple. We just have a different title.
I'm late to the party.
Yeah. No, I mean, we are exactly what you would expect in terms of a YouTube reactor channel. Like, we absorb and devour all things pop culture and the cinematic fandoms that plague as well as enlighten and excite us across YouTube platforms everywhere.
And there you go. Yeah, there you go. I actually made a little, there it is. If you want to follow late to the party, just the thing below. I should have put it underneath you guys' picture.
It's nice.
Okay.
I like
It's
it.
okay.
I'm looking at the
to...
ampersand. It's not an ampersand. That's and. The at.
It's like a legit at, right?
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I like it.
What font that is, but I was like, oh, that's okay.
I don't know. That's nice.
It's good. StreamYard kicking it up.
Thank you, StreamYard.
I know, right?
That's what happens when you pay them per month to get the extra fun fonts. So, you guys, WandaVision has been a roller coaster ride. I remember seeing kind of like the lineup for the upcoming Disney Plus Marvel shows. And at the time, like, I was so excited for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, really excited for Loki. I was like, interesting. They're going to give us a show about WandaVision. So I kind of didn't know how I felt about that. Was I going to watch it? Obviously, because I'm paying for Disney Plus, so I'm going to continue to watch. But it wasn't really until the trailer that we saw 2 Super Bowls ago, when we had that like 30-second spot and they highlighted all 3 shows. And it blew my mind. It immediately jumped from like number 3 most anticipated to number 1 most anticipated. What about you guys?
Loki will always be my most anticipated. But I think that I always was intrigued of what we were going to see for WandaVision, especially when they kind of talked about it a little bit, sort of, back in 2019 when we went to San Diego Comic-Con, and they were like, yeah, she's having her own show, but it's going to tie into Doctor Strange. And you're like, oh, interesting. So, and then when the trailer started to come out, it just seemed so different than what Marvel was doing that I'm all for doing new things, branching out and not kind of sticking to the same formula. So it was awesome.
And to think that when that announcement hit us, we were sitting next to each other. You were right here. You and Dustin were right next to us when these announcements came out, at least the announcements in terms of casting and who was going to lead into what. WandaVision going into, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. The movie couple was right there with us. We've experienced this all together. So yeah, the hype was insane. And that trailer, I remember that trailer perfectly because we broke that on Twitter, saying that trailer was happening in the format that it was happening well before the game even started. And we remember there was this battle, this infighting that took place in the post that
comment section.
It was between it was between the Falcon and the Winter Soldier and WandaVision. Like, it was back and forth in terms of no, it's about this or it's about this. And that was the first time I was like, damn, WandaVision's got this fight to it. And now I'm more excited than I was, just in terms of, I didn't realize that it was this fervent of a following. So absolutely, when they came out with the slew of shows, all three of them, it was a no-brainer because they felt like they were all connected. They're all one show to me coming out. It's just who we're focusing on for each point. But yeah, man, the fact that we started with WandaVision and got it the way we got it, I'm for it. I'm in. I can't wait.
Oh man. Yeah, it's really fantastic. This entire show, and also the experience of kind of doing the reaction and all that stuff, staying up in wee hours of the night. Like I know there's been many text messages back and forth, and I don't text people after 10 p.m. That's just a general like respect thing that I have for people, unless I am really, it's an emergency. But with Friday morning, I'm just kind of like 6 a.m. no problem, they're up, and I'll text, how you guys doing, what Reddit are you guys on? Hey, look, we got a bunch of super chats lined up, so I want to get to Lamont before we go ahead and dive into our WandaVision series finale spoiler, which I know what you guys are all here for. So let's go ahead and take a look at Lamont's super chat. Lamont, thank you so much. Hey gang, nice to see this crossover. Today's a Disney kind of day with WandaVision. Disneyland, which is like apparently reopening in April. What? Yeah. Recently, 4 fabulous ladies gave their top 5 classic Disney movies before 2000. What would Robert, Vanessa, and Dustin's top 3 film be?
Okay, all Disney, because I just made this list yesterday at work. Somebody flat out asked me, but they wanted to know animated, and I refused to get rid of Pete's Dragon and Mary Poppins, but they're in there, okay? Like they're not going anywhere. Third one I kind of dance around with, but I would say Aladdin. So I already had my 3 ready.
Nice. It's on you, Vanessa. I'm sorry.
I know that my number 1 will always be Beauty and the Beast. That's the movie that I grew up with watching like constantly. So that's definitely number 1. 2 and 3 can kind of be interchangeable for me. So at this moment in time, I would say 2 is probably Lion King. I love Lion King. And then 3, I would have to give it to... Oh gosh.
You said Beauty and the Beast already? Was that number 1?
Yeah, that's number 1.
Okay. I missed it. Sorry. I missed it.
The pressure's on, Vanessa. Wow.
No, there's many good movies out there.
Goofy movie.
I love the Goofy movie. I do love the
good
Goofy movie.
We call this dead air in the business.
Because I want to.
It is okay.
I want to give it to Hercules because I love Hercules, but like the music, I love the music in Hercules. But then I also want to give it to Aladdin because I love the genie and everything that
Robin Williams sealed it,
and the music as well.
Say Little Mermaid too. Was that number 2?
Oh my God! I thought you were going to say Sailor Moon. I was like, that's not. I love Sailor Moon, but Robert, that's not Disney.
No.
Aladdin.
Yeah, so yeah, Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, and Aladdin.
Lion King and Aladdin, yeah.
She's going for that Renaissance.
Yeah. Robert's was
Mary Poppins, Pete's Dragon, and Aladdin, because it's Robin Williams, definitely.
Dustin's watching because he just texted.
There you go. That's how Dustin can take part.
Oh my gosh, amazing! He says, "Mine's Aladdin." Amazing. My top 3: Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast.
I did also ask the people when they asked me about the list if Pixar counted as well. I see people saying Toy Story. Yeah, I would definitely probably bring a Pixar movie in there somewhere if I had if I had Pixar, but I kept them separate. I feel like they're their own thing.
Yeah, we would have to do that separately because I have the separate ones for that. But if you want to know, it's WALL-E, Toy Story 2, and then Inside Out.
But number 1 show for me right now on Disney Plus is WandaVision.
WandaVision. Also, don't forget to watch Raya and the Last Dragon on Disney Plus. Hashtag not sponsored, but I watched it and it is fabulous.
Hashtag haven't seen it yet.
We'll see it.
But you will.
Today.
You will.
Hashtag we'll get to it. Eventually, ... Maybe tonight.
Put that on your list. Do we have another super chat? Thank you, by the way, Lamont, for your super chat. Dustin's. Oh, I'm not gonna read that part. That's private. I almost just like spat it out. I was like, no, put it back in.
That's what she said.
Oh, no. I need a. If this was on Twitch or if I was using OBS, I love a little jar. That's what she said, jar.
Yeah,
that could be a thing. Thank you so much, Marvin. Right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Marvin, for your super chat. Thoughts on seeing possible DC/Marvel? I'm gonna F up this pronunciation. amalgam the story someday. If you could make your own part of the multiverse. I am not familiar with amalgam.
Do you mean amalgamation?
Amalgamation?
I don't know if you're putting both DC and Marvel together. I just don't think. No, I like them separate. I like it divided down the line. I like to be able to dance in these universes on their own, if that's what you're talking about. Or amalgam is some story arc that I have no clue. I'll eventually watch it on Comics Explained on YouTube to figure it out. But yeah, so much research going into those different universes. But multiverses, in my opinion, I understand it can break down the doors and open up everything, but I still want it to be contained within the Marvel universe that's already been established. Unless they did crossover. In which case, all right, let's do it.
I don't know if I would want to cross over.
No,
I think it's too soon.
Yeah, even if so, too.
Until you run out of all ideas.
Maybe the Justice League and the Avengers coming together, or just meeting each other.
Like a passerby.
Like having a conversation, and that's it.
Amalgam, kind of like splice. So yeah, amalgam. Amalgamate. Oh, I'm such an idiot. Parenthood, he teaches him what an amalgam is at the very beginning of the movie, and he talks about how his dad is, or the guy talking to him is like an amalgam of all the different guys who sat with him as a kid at the baseball game. I gotcha.
Partially my fault. I didn't know how to pronounce
to the
that.
party.
I was
Late to the party.
I would,
and I'm a goddamn amalgam. Sorry.
It just reminds me of that episode in The Office where Robert California puts people on two different sides of the paper, and then they all line up each other, and it's like line up with height or similar things. Like I just did one side you'll have Marvel, and the other side you have DC, but you just tie them up to.
Now attack the other side.
Now attack the other side.
Attack the other side.
Perfection.
I love it. Thank you so much, Marvin, for your super chat. We have one more before we dive into our spoiler talk. This one's from Fallen Tenshi writes, just want to thank you for your reactions. Love both your channels.
Yay!
Thank you so much.
There's
love
so
that.
many more channels we can get together too. It's great.
mean, I wanted to see if someday we could it'd be a lot because it'd be 6 people, but me and Dustin, the two of you, and then Greg and John from the Real Rejects would love that.
Amy from Mackie Fam just posted on Twitter too that they're down, and I think would be awesome. Absolutely. Mackie Fam reacts.
Party. We could do a fun what we could do if we could do it via either Discord, or I can try to figure out OBS.
I'm working on it.
We could do what's the box jacks, that party game? That one.
Jackbox? Yeah.
That would be fun.
Those are a lot of fun.
I'm terrible at them, but I love playing it. I'm really, really bad at it. Oh man. Amazing. And also just want a quick shout out before we go into it. Movie Bunch Adam writes, just dropping by for a second to say hello to everyone. Would spend the time for the entire stream, but got hired to do a photo shoot today. Yay, Adam! Yay! But want to tell everyone that I love WandaVision. We love you, Adam. Thank you so much for stopping by. All right, you guys. So let me go to, oh nope, that's not what I wanted. There we go. Let's go ahead and dive into this finale. It is, I think, the longest episode out of the entire WandaVision series, clocking in, including the credits, a spicy, I think was 49 minutes and some seconds, which was great. And I love that right off the bat, they went right into it and we got our witch versus witch battle on. What did you guys think of that fight?
I loved it. Seeing witch versus witch, but also seeing Wanda kind of embrace even though she's oh, I'm not a witch, I'm not this, but still embracing those witchy vibes. And then using some of the things that we've already seen, especially in Age of Ultron, when she kind of goes and does the little fancy mind thing.
Yeah, the connection, the representation, or just the interpretation of witches in the MCU is what I am the most excited about with this season, and showing not just the lore and the history, getting what happened with Agatha, Salem witch trials type thing, except it was because she betrayed her own coven and was too dangerous, when down in the future, everything is different, but it stays the same because she's doing the same thing to Wanda, where it's you can't handle it. You're going to destroy something. You're going to hurt people. We got to put you down. And then I'm going to take it because I know better. And that's exactly what they were doing to her in the past. So seeing that, then you add it in with the mannerisms, the spells, the different things that Wanda does, that quick scurry before she connects with her, before they go into like that memory bubble. Like, just, it's so damn witchy. And Mama,
but they did that in
who was
Age of
talking about
Ultron,
Mama?
too.
It was Ecomog on
On
Struggle Nation, hashtag
Yeah.
Struggle
Oh
Nation.
yeah. Oh, love.
And they're
Yes.
it was the Mama, those movements where it's crazy and creepy, but it's incorporated in the lore of like witches in the MCU, legit. So seeing them throw the heat, throw the heater, Ricky, them having that battle up in the top, it's so perfect.
But like that, like, you know, creepiness, they kind of did that already in Age of Ultron. So bringing it back
100%.
is awesome as well too, because
they knew where they were going with it,
Yeah.
and they elaborated and grew on what they were showing us. And for that, I love it, because then we'll get vampires too. Blade coming down the pipe.
Oh yeah, that's right, man. This is
Mhm.
it's all a bigger part of a setup, this entire
Yep.
show. It's and I'm not saying it's like that means it's a filler. It certainly isn't, because I feel that when we were watching, you know, all the Avenger like movies leading up to Endgame, the problem with ensemble films is they're so great, but at the same time, some characters don't get to shine as much as others. And with a character who you know is the Scarlet Witch, I felt like really didn't get her dues until towards the end of the movie. And now she's really getting her like character way more like fleshed out, major arc, you know, things like that. And I love seeing it, because initially, you know, at first it's kind of like, why do we need this like WandaVision show? But then you see her progressively through the series, just gets better and better. The emotional state that she's in, the struggle, the pain that caused her to literally like that activated my Siri for some reason. Why, I don't know.
So he's like, "What's up, girl?
Hey, what's up? I watched WandaVision too." But honestly, this witch versus witch fight was so interesting, because we have the Scarlet Witch, who is so powerful that she doesn't realize how powerful she is. Like, she doesn't really understand her own magic. She just knows that she has it. To the way Agatha is talking to her, like she's a threat to her. She's hungry for her power. And it's kind of, you know, watching how quickly Wanda is able to adapt and learn is fantastic, because even just that quick, like that was such a boss move. You know, she looks like she's giving Agatha all of her power. I'm like, you're giving her what she wants. Okay, like I really didn't see it coming that she was putting the runes on the hex walls. And when she did the reveal, I was like, she's a boss. Yes, I screamed. It was fantastic.
And there's aspects of that too that I know there were questions. I saw it on other reactions, because we watched basically everyone's reactions. Yeah. And the one of the reactions is how she learned that so quick. It's like, it just happened an hour ago. How did she know how to do it? And I feel like it's more of an emotional state when you're creating your spell. It's the deep gut feeling of what you're trying to accomplish that she's able to pull from herself and use. And so she knows runes are what caused it. She knows what she wants it to do. So she's putting up her own images that is powerful enough to contain it for her own power.
I think it also is to the point where she's like, she doesn't understand the power, but then when Agatha was talking to her about the runes and everything, she's like, oh, so that's what those are called. Like, she might have already known what they were, but she had she didn't understand what they were until that moment when she's like, oh, I have these runes here. And she's like, in her mind, probably, at least this is what I'm thinking, like in her mind, she's like, oh, so that's what those are. And she kind of already knows how to do it, but now is able to kind of focus on them to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'd probably have to check out Eric Voss's video to see if the runes are different.
Does.
Yeah, to see if the runes are different from the ones that are actually in Agatha's.
I think
because if they're own personal runes, that makes it even better, because it's straight from the heart, straight from the soul that she threw up on these walls.
It's her spell.
Yeah, it's her spell. So,
which will make it even more boss. Like, she's like, I don't bend to the rules. They bend to me.
Yeah, it was a badass line too. I love that line. What is my hair doing? It's going crazy. I can't handle it. But that hair was fire though, in Wanda. We'll get there
oh my gosh. Yes, we're going to get there in 2 seconds. And then, you know, from one epic fight to the other, let's go ahead and talk about Wanda's vision, Hex Vision. Oh, Hex Vision. Hex Vision versus White Vision. I was like, I love that we got 2 separate showdowns, right? And when I'll say this, when White Vision walked up and you saw his reflection in the mirror walking up towards Wanda, I was like, is she going to question why he looks so different? Or is she going to attribute this to, the magic and the hex kind of really going crazy? Because she didn't question it at all. And the fact that he got close enough to start crushing her skull like a grape, and she didn't even react. Like, I think she was just so shocked that she's like, what is happening? And maybe not want to hurt him. Like, I saw you guys' reaction to that was very similar to my own, where I was just like, is this going to happen? And then Hex Vision comes in and bam. And there was just a fantastic fight. Like, I felt like I was watching a Marvel movie.
Hex Vision was her vision, but when that vision showed up, that's Vision. She knew it. She knew that was Vision. And that's why she walks over, because she's in awe of the fact that he's here. He's right there. That's Vision. Mm-hmm. And that's why she gets so close enough for him to be able to lay hands on her and start doing the Game of Thrones,
Red Viper.
Yeah. And it's, it just shows, though, that she just throws caution into the wind when it comes to Vision.
Yeah.
No holds barred. And it got her into trouble. But thank goodness she's got her own little pocket Vision in this universe to take care of business.
Version of herself.
Yeah. The fight was legit.
Yes.
We were talking about the laser battles and the grabbing of his face and cutting through the building in the library of all places for this meeting of the minds.
Right.
That was like perfect setting.
I do. I love the back and forth between the two. Like, one will best the other, and then the other one will best the other. Like, because they have the same abilities. Like, they know each other's like ins and outs. So it was great to kind of see that kind of unfold. And then, of course, going into the library, and then both of them kind of stopping, and they're like, well, we're Vision, we've got the knowledge, let's fight with our minds instead of physically fighting. And I do love that whole conversation that they have against each other. And I think that Paul Bettany did a phenomenal job playing both, and I think he probably had so much fun doing both of those that it was great. And yeah.
I know, like, I remember taking notes, like not like writing things in my notebook, but not wanting to take my eyes off the screen. If I could show you just the awful scribble where I'm kind of in edit and kind of, before we go into our review, I'm looking at the notebook. I'm like, what did I write? All the letters are kind of over each other because I'm not paying attention to what, but I wanted to write it down. But I certainly was like, okay, ship of Theseus. Okay. It was kind of to what Vanessa was saying. It's perfect because the fight, they were kind of besting each other because they knew each other's moves. But when it came to kind of a deliberation or a request to elaborate, is the type of Vision fight that I kind of wanted to see as well. And it was such a meaningful conversation. And for that to kind of, for Hex Vision, Pocket Vision, Wanda's Vision to sort of awaken the memory in the past in Vision. And then him going, I am that transition. I am Vision, and busts out the ceiling, was like, bye. I got other things to do.
I know. Props to the writers for that whole conversation that they have against each other. I really did enjoy it because it is them. You're like, oh, they have this insightful conversation between the two of them, and then come to a realization of what's going on.
I love all the memes that are starting to pop out too.
Are there?
They're talking about the boat because it's all usually artificial people talking to each other. And I mean, it's a cool thing because it feels original because we haven't really seen it in the Marvel universe in terms of meeting of the minds versus, let's throw down and fight. I mean, we've seen it in other mediums, of course, like Doctor Who did the same thing with Nightmare in Silver, where the Doctor has like a chess battle with himself. It's by far one of the best episodes of Doctor Who ever is Nightmare in Silver, with Warwick Davis is in the episode too. But the meeting of the minds and the kind of tit for tat up here trying to figure something out. Let's find a logical resolution to this fight that's probably going to go on forever and we're never going to beat each other. And Vision just takes off. He takes that knowledge and runs with it. Kind of a Dr. Manhattan mentality, just dipping out and say, I got to go ponder this for a while.
He has to go find himself again.
Yeah.
He's got to figure out what's going on before he can come back in, which he will.
Does he get his own show before he comes back in?
I think he's going to show up somewhere. He's got to show up somewhere.
Where would you guys like to see him again next?
That's the hard part about is they can fit and mix and match so perfectly anywhere to where I wouldn't even have thought Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor would have been so much fun to see together. Like you can just mix and match any of them and probably come up with a pretty damn good story.
True.
But if he wants to go, otherworldly, I don't think he will though.
I mean, I would maybe towards the end of the movie, but maybe find a way to, get help. Like he was getting help from Shuri in Infinity War. So maybe he'll reach out to her to kind of be like, I know that you were helping us, and maybe tie in that way too. But I feel like he can kind of fit anywhere as they see fit.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a little bit, I feel, because, we just got him. And so they're going to take their time, and we probably won't see him again for, a couple years, more than likely. Few years, maybe. Totally
okay with that, too, because it just shows that, like, there is an opportunity for him to come back, and that means Paul Bettany will remain in the MCU, because I've enjoyed like all of their acting so much that I don't want them. Obviously we know this is not the last that we see some of the characters. So it's been a real treat. And I also we're talking about characters here. Let's talk about the teeing up for not just, Wanda's story and White Vision and all this stuff, but let's talk about Monica. Getting to show her. I don't even know exactly what her powers are, but I love discovering that with her. I'm kind of purposely trying not to read too much into it, so I'm kind of along for the ride on this one and just seeing where she's going to go for Captain Marvel 2.
And teeing it up perfectly for Captain Marvel 2. I mean, it's a very logical place for us to go, being that Captain Marvel has come out. We've been waiting for the sequel. We need to get it in now. I mean, the multiverse aspect's going to take care of itself, but they also need to add a little flavor to the other tales that they want to tell that maybe aren't going to be tied into multiverse and craziness. They're just going to, like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it's going to be the more military aspect of things, and who's more military than Captain Marvel? So I feel like we still have those stories to be told. So I saw some groaning of people, Captain Marvel 2. It's like, well, it makes sense, right? Like we need the second one, and Nick Fury's chilling up there, and we need to find out what's going on with the Skrulls. You want to get into Secret Wars in some way, shape, or form? Yeah. We're going the Captain Marvel way. So it made so much sense for them to tee it up to that direction. Everything can't be all multiverse all the time. And that was a perfect way to do it, in my opinion.
I was so excited that they did show, her kind of using her other abilities as well. When, she goes into the line of fire, when the bullets are going out. And it kind of reminds me exactly like in the comics, where the bullets do she can manipulate her body to be the same consistency of stuff around her. So the fact that they were able to do that and show us, it was great. I loved that whole scene there too. And even with Billy and Tommy too, like them using their powers as well to kind of fight off the military was a lot of fun as well.
Hayward's a shitty shot though. He goes
but also like pointing your guns at kids.
True.
It was weird. It was kind of a weird step for him to take. I do like him as a villain. I'm very happy that they didn't kill him. I hope he comes back. I hope
he'll be back.
Somebody in the political spectrum in the MCU is going to say, yeah, I feel the same way you do, buddy. We're putting you back in charge. Like,
it's going to be Hydra all over.
Yeah, except more political, and that leads into the whole mutant aspect story too. So, granted, I feel like if that's going to end up happening, it's happening a lot. It is going to end up happening. Feige told us personally at San Diego Comic-Con, but it's going to end up happening further rather than sooner, later rather than sooner.
They play the long game.
Yeah, they have to, and clearly with this season, they are playing the long game,
which as really Doctor Strange says.
Yeah,
I feel like Feige went into like his meditative state and saw all the millions of things, and he's like, "There's only one, and this is it." Somebody make that. Somebody Photoshop Feige as Doctor Strange right now.
And it's how he holds the one too. He's like, It's like I don't know. I have to watch it.
Like,
again.
after 1 minute. Yeah, because it's
And
like
then
I don't think he's like full on rap.
because
I
he's
think
like
it's
it's like that, like he has it like this, and then he does the one like that.
great moment.
there needs to be classes on like hand, like, you know, like Scarlet Witch hands, Doctor Strange
Absolutely.
hands.
Can we talk about that stunt work too? The wire stunt work, like
For the witches?
when them and when they lift up the soldiers and then like drop the soldiers, you got like 6 people all on like wires, and they just are there, and then they drop and then hold them.
Oh yeah,
It's like, dude, that's legit. You could have just CG'd all of it, but you use the real practical effects with stunt people. Same thing with the trailer and Wanda, where she does the blast and she goes flying, but when you see it, it's mixed with CG and it just flows so much nicer. But she's actually there on wires getting, you know, shot across the street. I loved it. I'm looking at that stuff more when I watch the show, and it makes it more enjoyable because they're utilizing
both
as much as they can
and or physical, practical, and the CG, because I think
100%.
because then you get that real, you know, movement with the CG added, and you're like, oh, that's awesome. Like this kind of I'm seeing videos a lot of them shooting Thor, and there's one of supposed to be Jane Foster, and she's like on a wire thing, and you see her like flailing around. But
that just came out too.
We are like, oh, that like when they put the special effects on it, it's gonna look cool. So it's good.
I love the practical effects. Like that's why I kind of really enjoy The Mandalorian, like going kind of a little bit further away from what we're talking about. It's just CGI has come a very long way. It's very advanced now. A lot of it looks fantastic, but I don't think our eyes will ever look at a practical thing and say that's not as good as a CGI. You know what I'm saying? Because there's that you can, it's tangible. You can react to it. You can interact with it. It's organic. So I always appreciate. I know it's more expensive to do it. You know, things with practical effects, especially stunts, because then there's like injury and things like that involved. But like I really applaud whatever practical stunts that they were able to put in, effects and things like that for the show, because it just makes it look so much better, like you guys said. So much better.
And it's just so cool for the stunt actors too, because I mean, when I was a kid, I remember fantasizing about getting shot and falling off something. Like it was like, I want to be the guy that gets, the stormtrooper that goes flying, because you want to be the one to go flying. You know, you wanted to step on that pad that launches you, and like in Congo, when Peter does it, jump into the other side of the shifting sands or the shifting mountain. But yeah, I mean, it's cool to see in these TV show movies, cinematic films that they're giving us, and it was prevalent in WandaVision, and just seeing that behind the scenes of Jane in the next Thor, like I'm excited for it.
That's why I'm looking forward to the assembled, the making of WandaVision, because we'll definitely
next Friday, right?
That. Yeah.
God,
and the fact that we'll probably see, you know, them actually doing the stunts and them talking about it and stuff is going to be a lot of fun. And I'm glad that they're doing it for all of the shows that they're doing too.
I need it to be like an hour long though, because speaking of like the whole, it's kind of similar to the Disney Gallery, what they did for The Mandalorian. I remember what they did for season 1 was so good, because it was different segments, and then they led us through, you know, the creation of whether it's you're speaking with actors, directors, producers, practical effects and things like that. But for the second season, it was just like a summary of it, and it was still really cool to see, of course, but it wasn't as satisfying to see. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I want it to be like an hour, at least. Before we get into super chats here, before we get to Amers, I want to ask you about what you guys thought of Monica and Pietro's conversation in his man cave.
We had this conversation too a lot too. Yeah.
Let's talk through it.
Go for it.
I mean, it's kind of, that whole thing felt like rushed. Like I feel like there's more to it. Like that's not all that there is for it. Like there's a reason why they had, you know, Evan Peters come back. And I don't think it's not just because, oh, he was Quicksilver in the Fox universe, and now we're just kind of bringing him over to be like, oh, you know, we're together now. But I feel like there's more to that, because I know there's a lot of people out saying, oh, he's the missing person. He's the one that is in the witness protection program and stuff like that too. So it's really kind of like, and the name, like Ralph Boner, like, I don't know.
There's two sides of the spectrum, and the spectrum essentially is one, it's a joke. It's
Right.
a tongue-in-cheek type, like it was with Trevor Slattery. Was that his name in Iron Man 3?
That's what Ryan Nielsen from he tweeted. I think I was tagged in it. It says Trevor Slattery walked so Ralph Boner could run.
And it makes sense, but that's one end of the spectrum, is that it was done for laughs or just we know. But if it ends there, I'm mad. if that is all it is, that sucks. And I think carrying that, you said it, what was it? I got your quote here. Good but not satisfying enough is what you said as soon as the episode ended. And I know it was that feeling carrying forward through the episode, where it's like, if it is just he's Ralph Boner and he's just there and we're not going to get any other explanation to what is going on, then that sucks. Like that is just a waste of potential and a waste of growth. But I don't think it is that. Like, I think it's the other side of the coin. And that is that there is far more to it. And we can analyze and pick and do what we do, which is speculate. And that's what gets us into trouble, we speculate that there is more, and we analyze that scene, and the way he kind of snickers at Boner when she says it, like, makes it feel like it's a fake name, but at the same time, they're in the hex still. So what if Ralph Boner is a character created by Wanda in this TV universe? So Ralph Boner isn't his real name because all the other names are fake for everybody else. They're not the real people. So this person who was under witness protection from Jimmy Woo, if that's the connection, and he's there, everything's going to be fake anyways. The dude doesn't know who he is. He's being controlled by two witches. And
poor thing. He's need therapy and like major PTSD after this. Correct.
But there's more to it that does make it more fulfilling, where it's like, you guys are playing a long game. I see it. But but at the same time, that's me. That's a choose your own adventure in my head that I'm making to justify certain things that take place in this show. Yeah. The other side of the coin are the people that are upset and mad and said, I thought it was funny because, I knew it. It was just a joke the whole time. He wasn't anybody. And it's like, they look down at it because they feel like it's not a quality story thread, which if it is that, you are right, 100%. It is not a quality story thread in a show that is like this. But if it's on the other side, if it actually is more to it, then of course it's fulfilling and it's long-term and it's a 5-year plan. Yeah. And it's great storytelling, but we don't know. So we just at this moment kind of pick a battle. We pick a side. And the other thing that kind of hurts my side a little bit, trying to come up with the reason why everything is the way it is with Ralph Boner. When the hell are they going to find the time to explain this to me and fill that in? So now I'm like, oh crap, I'm leaning towards the other side. Like, did you just do that?
Just do it.
It was just cookies the whole time. Robert California. It was just cookies. Like, there is nothing more to it. But that's the game you play when it comes to speculation and high hopes. And I've got high hopes for the Pietro story.
Yeah, I really hope so. I really hope they let us like go somewhere with it, because I was kind of like, thoughts were going through my head from ever since when Agatha kind of revealed. I mean, we all knew this about Agatha already, but when she, herself revealed it through a very catchy theme song that I still sing to today, and it showed that she was puppeteering Pietro as well. So like, who we didn't get a definitive answer. Maybe we will down the line, and maybe we won't. Right. So is it Wanda? Is it Ralph, who is actually, like you guys said, the missing person that Jimmy's been looking for, who then got quote unquote recast using Darcy's words, and Agatha kind of being able to take that to manipulate it into someone who she could, go act like Wanda's brother, go act like, Pietro, which would now make sense that he didn't exactly understand, like, his memory of his childhood was very different from her own. And like the headshot, what does that mean? Is he an actor prior to being put in the hex, or is that just the role that was picked for him, which I think it's a little because we're inside the hex.
I think that's his role in the hex. I think
Yeah.
that's who he is. Ralph Boner, actor who lives in this town and he's trying to
Yeah.
make it in the big city. And that's his, his story, at least in terms of the hex, inside the hex of Westview. But no, like, it could go a very upsetting way, but I feel like there's just got to be more to it. But yeah, he's an actor. He's an actor inside the hex, which makes me wonder what's going on after. That's what makes me mad is we didn't get to see what happened after with him, like
with everyone in the hex.
And when he took off the necklace and he's like, "Spare me," like that's still. I feel like that was just removing the control of Agatha and not Wanda. So I see this is they take it off.
Special guest,
right? Oh yeah, late to the party.
Hey, I made it.
Mike is on your side. You don't need to yell.
Oh,
there you go.
Sorry.
Can you guys hear okay?
Hey guys.
Yeah,
We'll
you're late
like
to
this.
the party, man. How's your arm?
How's your arm?
It's doing pretty good. I have to admit, I do feel my joints feel a little bit more stiff than before when I came back because they made us wait 15 minutes. They gave me the shot and they said, "Okay, we want to have you wait here for 15 minutes before we have you leave to see if you have any adverse effects." And I was like, "Okay." I didn't really feel anything, but by the time I started driving home, I was like, is it just me or do I feel a little bit more stiff? So, I mean, I've heard that that's what's supposed to happen. I mean, your body's still going to react as if you got some kind of what is it called?
Like any sort of shot.
Well, like your body's
your
body's getting sick because your body's still going to kick in its natural defenses, even if it's something that's supposed to help it, kind of a thing.
Dustin turns into the Human Torch right now. He's like, develops abilities.
I get my.
He turns into Scarlet Witch though. He's got the crown and everything. He's like, whatever. It was pretty badass, and he just rocks it, man. Just rock it.
I mean, I have to admit, I loved what they did with Scarlet Witch and what they did with her costume and outfit. And
want to talk about? Hold on. Wait. I was trying to see could we jump into it? And I was about to jump into her costume since you were talking about it.
Oh,
but we have 2 super chats, actually a few that we're going to get to really quickly.
What, Navi? Are you just excited that Daddy's home?
By the way, guys, Navi was literally was not interested at all about being a part of this conversation until Dustin got home.
And now she's like, Daddy, give me love.
It's the same with me. I'm sorry, Wendy.
She has she knows her favorites.
Navi.
Look at this.
Always here to give me love.
Oh, I want to dress her up as Wanda for Halloween.
No, dress her up as
I have the cape.
Wanda and Vision.
I gotta say, guys, right before this, I was watching Neverending Story 2, Falcor.
Falky.
My heart, my love. I thought of Falcor the entire time.
Yeah.
But yes, moving on.
Super
chat.
Super chat. Thank you so much, Armor. Oh, sorry. Thank you, Armor, for your
Thanks,
super
Armor.
chat. Just kind of calling out the some of the moments there. Wanda, we'll say hello again. Vision, so long, darling. Oh wait, before I forget, I've unlocked.
Oh yeah, that would have been a night.
God, yeah. Why didn't he say anything?
I mean, it's kind of like, oh, by the way, the other Vision now has all of my memories. I don't know if he has all of the emotional ability, but yeah, he's now more like the real me.
I mean, yeah, LOL, he should have told her that the real Vision with his memory is out there.
Yeah, that would have been helpful. That would have been
Armor, because I really did not think about that.
Technically, there was a little bit of gap between them actually going home, that he could have talked about it, between them tucking in the kids and actually going downstairs. Maybe it's somewhere in there. I mean, I would have thought that, hey, while I was off fighting Vision, what happened with you? Hey, while I was out finding Agnes.
Attica.
What happened with you and that white Vision kind of thing? They would have, what is that called? Shared notes a little bit.
I mean, just because we didn't see it happen doesn't mean it didn't happen.
True.
I guess.
Very, very true.
She didn't want to show all of her, WandaVision to some she kept private for herself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's just what I think. Thank you so much also to Ty Wigfall for your donation to
Thank
Super
you.
Chat. And I think we have one more, right? No,
I think that's the...
Yes, from Bleeding Green.
Oh.
And I knew it. I was like, I think I missed one.
Don't want to forget. There it is.
There it is. All right. Thank you so much. Bleeding Green writes, my question to Marvel would be, why waste a good actor like Evan Peters, even if he wasn't Quicksilver For what amounted to be a bad joke, you could have cast him as someone else, hero or villain.
Yeah, could have. And it falls under the two spectrums.
Yeah, no, that's very true. I mean, honestly, I was very disappointed in the whole Evan Peters thing. And I'm kind of like, yeah, I was listening to you guys on my way home. And I was kind of like, what a waste. I mean, it turned out to be kind of like a bad joke. And I really do hope that, like you guys said, that they do give us a little bit more. Like it's going to end up being something a little bit more. But if it's left the way it is, I'm very much like, wait, that's it?
Yeah.
That's the whole thing, is just a dick joke.
I will say it wasn't, I mean, like that part was kind of like, it definitely took me out of the story a little bit, but I don't want to call his entire like appearance a waste, because he did unlock some interesting conversations with Wanda. You know, when he poked fun about the whole, well, your dead husband can't die twice, can he? And like, kind of what, like the anger inside of her that kind of, you know, unleashed that on him. And just, it was a nice treat for us still. Like, I think back to the episode when the door opened, it was like, you're gonna, you know, hug me or what? And you're just like, oh my gosh, like they actually did this. Even like, granted, it didn't go anywhere that we know of. It does suck, but I still really love that he was a part of it. I mean, ask me how I feel in like a week. Once I fully process it, maybe I'll go back and be like, no, it was stupid. But
I mean,
for now,
go back and watch our reactions to the moment. I mean, it was such a good time having Evan Peters show up at Quicksilver, even if it was possibly just a rope-a-dope. But, you know, having him show up in the first place was an amazing moment. I mean, it did wonders for the show, and it could possibly, hopefully, go on and become something more. But if not, you guys screwed up. You should have done better. I'm tired of these little fake outs.
What if at the
there were so many red herrings in this entire series?
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Vanessa?
I'm sorry.
Well, I was gonna say no. What if at the end of the assembled episode next week, they're like, "Oh, here's another end credit scene."
Would love that 100%. So much. But you know what they didn't mess up was the Scarlet Witch costume.
Oh.
Y'all, that costume and the reveal and her putting it's fire.
She looks so badass.
Fantastic.
Yes. I need that outfit now.
Yeah, you know, the cosplayers are like, okay, they're like got it on pause. They're gonna sculpt out the crown and the intricate kind of the collarbone area. It looked great because it still has the essence of the original comic book, but it's updated and it fits in with kind of the aesthetic of what the Avengers, you know, what we've seen and things like that. And also you kind of like put her side by side with the Fassbender Magneto, like they kind of match too in that way. So I don't know if that's on purpose or not, or just probably me reading too much into it, but I appreciate that.
It does. Like I did see it back at like a side by side with Magneto, and I'm like, oh, they're kind of the same color scheme, which is awesome. I mean, I love maroon. Like maroon is like one of my favorite colors. So, and she looks so good in that, and I really want that outfit.
Maroon cartoons. I mean, yeah, obviously there are very similar styles just because of the connection between Magneto and Scarlet Witch, Wanda. So, I mean, you figure if they're going to update it and give us something, at least a superhero costume in modern age, it might end up looking something close to what you would get from a Magneto costume. But breathtaking. When she showed up and that whole scene and that transformation took place and you saw the costume, it was breathtaking because you always kind of want to know how these costumes are going to look in the modern age, in the MCU versus from page to screen. And, you know, we had different iterations of Wanda, or at least the Scarlet Witch's outfit. And I love that it, you know, she still has like the gloves up here too. I mean, and she's had that for a while, but now they've evolved into having that full-on Scarlet Witch outfit. But yet her outfit in the comics has always been overly sexualized when it comes to Wanda, or at least Scarlet Witch.
Cut,
everything. And she was a hot, you know, Avenger. She was the hot. You turn the pages and the kids are like, woo. Oh, dang! I know who that one is. But here, man, I felt like when she showed up in that outfit with that hair, you didn't need any of that over sexualization.
No, it's
like,
true.
Damn, it was breathtaking. If you watch everyone's reactions to that moment, it's, damn, and even Agatha was just like, "Hey, I forgot what she says, but it's so good."
She was like,
"Hey,
did I leave the oven open?
Yeah, that's
or
what
is
it
it
was.
The
just
oven
you?"
on was the hot stuff.
Oh, man.
And it was breathtaking. And even in our reaction, when she switches back from the hoodie wearing Wanda into the Scarlet Witch and she takes off flying, and
she has the hood for that one too, so she can
Mhm.
manipulate it as well.
Right.
So she's got the like when she leaves, she has the hood with like an actual full-on cape there. And then when she has the other outfit, like it still has the cape, but then she has the, the headpiece there. So it can be worn many different ways.
And when that transition happened in our reaction, we lost our minds because it looks so good. It's striking when that outfit pops up. It's a striking look.
I love the way that the outfit too just kind of feels a little bit like the outfit that she never got to wear barely at the end of Age of Ultron, when they have them all like, oh, these are our new Avengers, and she was wearing a different outfit there, and then they never brought that one back.
Avengers.
So basically, yeah, Avengers Age of Ultron. And then so it kind of has that same like slant of the two in the front. And I love that they brought that style back for her.
Yeah, love that
style.
That's design.
This whole episode, this whole season had style from Agatha, even Darcy. Man, I love Darcy's look when she was the Doc, and then of course rocking around in that what was she, the escape artist outfit? It was so good.
I felt so good because I called that one. I was like, oh, since she's handcuffed to the car, she's gonna be the escape artist inside the circus. And I was just like, yes, I called it.
It packed a punch too. That freaking what was it?
Have fun in prison.
I want to say flan car. It wasn't a flan car. It was like fried bread car. Funnel cakes.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
I'm not a big sweets guy.
I love funnel cakes.
But I was sweet on Darcy, that's for sure. And Jimmy Woo. Holy crap, man!
It's cute. He asked about Darcy when he saw him. Like, hey, Monica, where's Darcy? I was like, yeah, where is Darcy? Are they gonna get their own show?
What was it like? Post rep, what do they call that? The sit rep
debrief.
Oh, the
sit rep, the debrief. Yeah,
debriefs are for the week.
Sit rep. I mean, that's more what's going on in the moment. But the debrief afterwards. I mean, Jimmy Woo, man, Jimmy Woo had style too, with the way he talks, his dialogue, and his magic tricks. I love him. He's so good.
Oh, so good.
When he was handcuffed and he was able to break out, he did call that one person. He called Cliff. I think it was Cliff, right? So do you think he was? I mean, who do you do you think that was a character that we know?
Cliff Secord, the Rocketeer. That's in our full episode reaction. I cut it out. I should have left it in. But yeah, Cliff Secord, the Rocketeer. That'd be awesome. Different universe, because I don't think Rocketeer was ever actually Marvel. But I could be wrong about that. But
he's part of the Disney crew.
Yeah, he is. So. Freaking James Horner did the music.
Put it all there together.
Yeah, I think it's just a dude named Cliff now. They're fixing my expectations.
I know. I feel like
Cliff.
Like they are kind of making us be able to curb our fan theories very quickly.
Oh, yeah. We needed it.
Many of them.
Yeah, we needed it.
Not even close.
It made me humble as hell, and it'll make me humble for all their shows now.
Yeah, we're not gonna go into Falcon Winter Soldier and be like,
maybe it's this. But honestly, then in that one, it's going to be all of the fan theories that we think, but we're like, no. They didn't do that for WandaVision.
It won't happen.
It's
not. Why would they happen for this one? And then they actually do happen. You're like, dang it, Marvel, you're like messing with my head here.
Gotta keep us on our toes.
Yeah. Let's talk about, since we're kind of talking about the expectation versus what the show gave us. Like, I try when we watch this, it's and you guys probably agree, like, it's so much fun to kind of do fan theories and have headcanon and, kind of take our knowledge of like whatever source material we've read or come across and try to see if it fits into the show, if we'll get this reveal and that reveal. And I felt like I had a fun time seeing like, maybe they're teeing up for Fantastic Four here. Maybe that's kind of like a little hint at this. Or are we going to get the reveal that Magneto is going to show up or a Doctor Strange cameo? And I think at the same time, like before we started watching the final, the series finale, we said to ourselves before the camera went on, like, no matter what happens tonight, it was never our story to begin with. It's their story. So let's just try to go along for the ride and kind of laugh at, the failed theories, because it's okay to have fun. Like, so what if my
Right.
theory doesn't come true? I don't care.
Right.
Yeah, and also it's one of those things that we're sitting here throwing all these ideas out, but we have no idea where the story really is going to go. We have no idea. They're like, whoa! You're thinking that we're going to put the Fantastic Four in now? We're putting them in like much later because we just got them back, kind of a thing. But yet we're like, oh my gosh, Mephisto, Nightmare. But Nightmare is technically going to be the villain in the.
Do you know that for a fact?
That is a fact, right? That
it was with Derrickson. It's not Derrickson anymore, though. It's Raimi. So anything could have changed.
They could have.
Right,
That's true.
right.
That's true. They did talk about how Derrickson wanted to put Nightmare in there, but you never know. I mean,
if they love the script,
but
I don't think they did. I think they tossed it all out and started over
maybe
with
that's
Raimi.
why they set part ways, because it wasn't the story that they wanted to tell in that moment.
Correct.
It makes sense because they were saying that. I remember I was watching, I think it was an interview with Kevin Feige, and he was going, this is going to be the first scary Marvel movie. And I was all excited. And I was kind of, but then things have changed, and I guess they've changed directions, but it still could be a scary Marvel movie with Nightmare, I'm hoping.
I think that with the addition of Sam Raimi, that they are still wanting to see those elements of scary, because you don't bring Sam Raimi in to do one. He's done. Granted, he's done comic book movies, but he also has the Evil Dead series there under his belt as well. So he knows how to bring kind of those horror tropes into movies. So I'm sure that they at least have some form of it being still kind of scary, especially when you have Doctor Strange, you have Wanda. Like with I was reading the 2015 comics ahead when we were doing the WandaVision, and like even in those comics, it does have little hints of horror in those comics too. So I'm excited to see what Sam Raimi can bring, especially with his background in horror.
And a lot of the speculation and the headcanon that we do create it is kind of their fault too, because of the teases they give us. So when they tell us the aspect of a horror and nightmare type deal, like we're going to automatically start carving a path to that trajectory. When Kevin Feige himself told us, I haven't even had a chance to tell you about Fantastic Four. Yeah. And we're like, oh my God, John Krasinski. Like you eat automatically, who am I casting? Who's like, how are we going to get there? When's it going to happen?
There's mutants in there somewhere. And you're like, and Wanda's the mutant.
And then
that's how you bring mutants.
You bring out Mahershala Ali, and the mutants aspect. You bring out Mahershala Ali, and you say Blade. And you're like, okay, so that means vampires. How are we going to get the vampires? Are they going to create vampires through the Darkhold? Oh, if you're doing the Darkhold, is it Chthon? Like that. Oh, so now you start carving out all these paths, and it's a choose your own adventure up here. And the problem is sometimes they don't take the same path you did, and it ends up
very often they don't
being Rise of Skywalker. But and that was Disney, so I'm not super confident, but at the same time, Marvel has proven to me long-term wise that I can enjoy myself and have a good time.
Yeah.
100%.
And also with what was going on with Hayward, and I was like, oh, are we going to get to see Sentinels in this? Maybe. I've been dying to see some Sentinels.
So much headcanon.
So much, so much stuff of just, is it this way? Is it that way? How are they going to do this? And this is also, the first, huge amount of Marvel that we've gotten since because of COVID and everything.
Yeah.
So of course we're like, we now have
it.
all of this more information to where it was. And now we're just like theorizing our heads off.
Yeah.
And Moon Knight too. Yeah, I forgot about
Moon Knight.
Oh yeah.
Moon Knight's gonna eventually show up, but it's a long.
I'll say
game.
this though too: the fact that they're doing these shows on Disney Plus is a huge game changer for MCU, because now they have the ability to have those long form stories that they can tell that they probably would have left off because of the movies. Now they have that more to branch out and tie into the movies as well, but tell a different story too at the same time to give it a full fleshed out character like Wanda.
I'm just so curious as to when they'll find the time, though, to give us answers to the questions we kind of still have in regards to Pietro, because if they do just drop it here and he never comes back again, and it's, even
Disney
if they
plays or Marvel plays the long game.
I'm curious as to when he would fit in and bring him in. But then again,
about Thanos in the first Avengers movie,
Took
and then
10
he
years.
really didn't come out until Infinity War.
true.
So
He grabbed the
it's
gauntlet
been a
and
long
won.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
God, I
pretty
remember that was so long ago. I'll just do it myself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, heck, even from the first Avenger, where all you get is that
Turn. Yeah.
that look, and that's it. And then everyone's losing their minds, and then we don't really get him back until it was. I mean, he had a scene in Guardians,
Right.
and that's pretty much it. And then it wasn't
I think at
until
the
Infinity
end of-
War where we're like, we really get him.
Yeah, and I think at the end of Age of Ultron, that's when you see him saying, "Fine, I'll do it myself," and he has the gauntlet, and then we don't see him really again until Infinity War. So they like to play the long game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it takes time for sure. But
Takes
that
time.
that Darkhold can give us plenty of options, though. So it's essentially just a plot device a plot device maker. So our plot making device, there it is. It's going to just orchestrate all these different issues for stories for years to come. So, I mean, it's genius that they ended up bringing the Darkhold in, and who better to bring it? Who's better hands to put it into than Sam Raimi, a Necronomicon destructive. Like, you're giving it back to Sam Raimi. Yeah.
This is really true.
He gets to play with another Book of the Damned kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't make that.
His book did. It created an alternate, or it sent him to an alternate dimension. I mean, Ash ended Sam Raimi's already done this already, so get it right.
Yeah, he's been around the block with this one.
Yeah, this type of
he kind of did the story 3 times now.
Yeah.
Because the first Evil Dead, then the second Evil Dead, which is kind of the first one, and then Army of Darkness, and now the Darkhold in.
I'm just curious as to who Bruce Campbell's going to end up playing.
Wouldn't it be awesome if he actually makes he's
Mephisto.
He's going to cast him as Mephisto. That
More
would be
headcanon.
He has to have Bruce Campbell.
This is just me wishful thinking, but I would love to see him be Ash in there. But I'm sure he's just going to be like a character in the movie. But that would be a lot.
They put him put him in all the Spider-Man movies.
It's true. And I was hoping he was Mysterio. We've created a whole thing in our heads back then about how Bruce Campbell could be Mysterio and all three. Yeah, just playing different roles. But that's what we do. That's what we do. We create up here.
Create up different stories in our mind.
But that other end credit scene, though, kind of like I lost
talking about
the
Darkhold one, right?
Yeah, the Darkhold.
The Darkhold one. Okay, so it's interesting as we kind of get the very nice like panning down shot, like almost like a drone shot, but better, of Wanda's little getaway, leave me alone cabin. I've suffered enough. And it really, they fooled me on this one because I didn't think that she was going to have her little tea, walk in. We're going to continue to go back into the room and we're going to see other Wanda very kind of just like I don't even want to know. I don't know how to describe it. Like just crazed.
It was
crazed expression as she's reading the Darkhold. Is just like, what is that book doing to you?
Yeah.
Put it down.
And it's also, the astral projection, but it's an advanced form of the astral projection. Yeah, because they're both awake. It's the exact same thing that Doctor Strange did when he was flipping through, when he was studying, but his body was sleeping. She doesn't need to sleep when she has her astral projection up. So that's impressive.
I mean, even like Agatha said, she is more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme. So she has that ability to do that. And I didn't catch it the first time we were doing a reaction, but I watched it again last night. Where you hear the Doctor Strange music a little bit when she's doing the thing, and I'm like, that's amazing because I love the Doctor Strange music too. So that was a lot of fun that they incorporated that in there as well.
I was too busy screaming because she was reading from the Darkhold, and I know that is not something you must not read from the book. No harm ever came from reading a book. And so as soon as I saw that, I'm hooting and hollering like, oh my God, no, don't do it. And the music was playing underneath, the Michael Giacchino music. And we know that's going to shift over to Danny Elfman, I believe, for the Doctor Strange 2. So I love that they know the music. They're going to keep the music, hopefully. And Danny Elfman will hopefully turn it into something beautiful that Michael Giacchino already created for that Doctor Strange theme. Maybe bring in some of the Christoph Beck music from WandaVision to form Wanda's theme as well. And or they could just get Samuel Kim to do it. I think he did one too on
Yeah.
YouTube. Check it out. But yeah,
Mhm.
that whole final scene, she is definitely far more powerful and advanced than we have seen her in the past. And there was a part of me that was like, what if the Scarlet Witch inside her is kind of separating, doing her own thing, and then you've got Wanda doing her own thing, and they just kind of exist at the same time. And when they need to, they come together.
Yeah.
And so, but when Wanda is the Scarlet Witch, she's a bad bitch. But when she's Wanda, she's caring, she's loving to those that she wants to protect. So, and human. People.
And also, speaking of the things that she wants to protect, when at the very end you hear her kids crying out for her help. So I have two different ideas. One, do you think that she is hearing her kids cry out for help in real time, in a sense, like they are actually trapped somewhere and they're like, "Mom, come and help us"? Or is it the memory of when they were being disintegrated by her when she was crying out?
Very good question.
I think for me it was like in real time, because they could still bring Mephisto into it too if they wanted. Like, it's not something that it can't not happen, and maybe it is a real time where they're still out there somewhere. And because I mean, her power is powerful. Like, she can manifest. It's real time.
Okay, and that's what I was thinking of, is the fact that she now knows that her children are in danger. So it's going to be her trying to find them. She goes to Doctor Strange. She's like, "I need your help. I just want my family back."
I think she's trying to protect them in another dimension. I think her children are hurt and they're in pain, and she can feel it. If they may not be hers are gone, but she is a Nexus being who exists across all dimensions. And so I feel like she is capable of saving those in another dimension, another multiverse. And so she'll use, again, Doctor Strange, or at the same time, she could try it for herself, get in trouble, cause some issues. Doctor Strange end up having to come in. So it just depends on it could be the whole other story. The other dimension is showing us the true House of M with Mephisto and Agatha Harkness, and that is all happening, and she goes to try and save them there.
I also think too, it's very possible that she is trying to learn so much about her powers because she doesn't know. But I feel like she's going to get too carried away with it, especially having the Darkhold to the point where Doctor Strange does have to come in and kind of set things straight, because she kind of doesn't know the extent of her power, and the Darkhold just makes it like 10 times worse. Because even she says that her time in Doctor Strange is going to be warranted, or it's well deserved in the shows or in the movie. So I just wish that COVID never happened, so that way we could already be waiting for Doctor Strange like 2 weeks from now or something.
I know. Imagine how much material we would have actually been able to enjoy at this point in time. We would have already seen all of WandaVision, all of Falcon and Winter Soldier. We would have gotten Loki.
But look, things are starting to look up a little bit. I think we got the news that like Disneyland is looking at a reopening beginning of April. Like some sports. I mean, I'm not a sports person, so like this doesn't affect me as much. But like for the sports fan, they can get excited for kind of going back to that. And then I think they moved up the date for Quiet Place 2. So instead of like a September, I think it's something I don't remember.
Memorial Day is moving.
Yeah, yes. So it's earlier, as well as Fast 9. They announced it this morning, I think.
I just want to watch Ghostbusters.
I want to watch.
Oh my God! Yes.
Oh, yes, Ghostbusters. That was one of the things that I was heartbroken about when they announced the postponing of Afterlife.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd, baby.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd in a Ghostbusters movie. I am for it. I cannot wait for it. Oh, Jason 100%. Reitman. It should be good. It should be a good time. But yeah, we finally have some light on the horizon at the end of the tunnel, and I love that we can now put this in the bag and move on to Falcon and the Winter Soldier and find out what the hell's going on here. And that's so soon. It's so soon. We're almost here. Then Loki.
Off and that's it. Back to editing.
Yeah.
Loki's going to be like crazy.
Loki,
real good.
I'm so excited to see the what if. and the one episode that's going to be the zombie Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and they teased that a little bit with the witches coming back to life and having a little bit of a zombie-esque kind of feel there.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, I can't wait for the What If series.
We will see.
I'm excited for that too.
Yeah.
I would love for them to do a What If for Star Wars. You know, what if
100%.
Luke would have what if Luke would have taken Darth Vader's place? What
Scrap
if
the trilogy, make it again, just call What If. That's all you
Exactly.
do. What If Star Wars?
That's it.
And
They
then
don't have to
that's-
connect at all. It doesn't matter.
What if Pamela? What
Pamela.
what if Padme Amidala survived?
Panama.
Yeah.
What if her name was Pamela?
Yeah, what if she was the Jedi instead of
And what?
Anakin?
Yeah,
Yeah.
He dies in birth.
Ooh.
She has the babies. He's like, oh, and he dies.
Yeah, what if Anakin was the one that died and she actually took his
Her grief.
essence?
Yeah, her grief
What
makes
if
her
she
into
was,
lady
Sidious
later.
That would be
Dark
so
Padme?
cool. I would-
Woo!
Oh,
It
that
writes
would
itself.
Write
It
this
writes
down. Write this down. Lucasfilm, Disney. Write it
If
down.
Obi-Wan was the one that actually
Yes.
turned to the dark side and not Anakin.
Yeah, there you
Or
go.
what if Qui-Gon trained Anakin?
Or if Qui-Gon
Instead-
Yeah,
Yeah.
Qui-Gon
What
was
would have
still
if
alive,
Qui-Gon
yeah.
never died? Or if
Look at this
Darth
Hollywood,
Maul-
all of these ideas.
Yep, tons of ideas. Go for it.
What if Grogu was actually Yaddle and Yoda's love
Love
child?
child.
But they grew up in the burbs. They never became like Jedis. They just chilling.
Yeah.
I'd watch that. It'd be like the real Grogu, Yoda, Yaddles of Beverly
Yep.
Coruscant.
Yep.
The Real
Oh my
Housewives
gosh.
of the Jedi Order.
There you go.
I
But
mean, I watch it.
but there's nobody in it. It's just an empty room because they don't care.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Oh,
Hey,
I'm
thank
for
you
it.
so much to Lamont for your
Thank you so much.
super chat. Make this happen. World Girls plus Movie Couple plus Late to the Party plus Dos
Los
Cavazos.
Cavazos.
Yeah, crossover for Falcon and the Winter Soldier finale reaction. The Avengers of the YouTube film community. I mean, I wouldn't mind doing this for like follow like spoiler talks and stuff like that.
YouTubers assemble.
For Falcon for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I just got to see how many people I can get in the right time, because timing is, you know, everybody's busy with their lives. So if people are willing to like, you know, come and spend like an hour and a half or something to come and chit chat with us, and yeah, we'd be down to do it.
Telling you, I'm putting the pieces together to make it possible to do more crossovers for like cross the streams. I've been trying to coin it for like a year, and
Just
cross
do
the
it.
streams. I think it would be in everyone's best interest to let's just chit chat together, because we all are going through as reactors. A
Mhm.
lot of work goes into doing what we do to create the reactions for everyone to watch on YouTube.
Yep.
There is so much that we do go through to get these reactions just to be seen on YouTube, and we all feel it together. We travel through these shows together, and I feel like if you can get us all in a room, maybe 2 of us at a time, maybe up to 4 like here with the World Girls and Dos Cavazos, I think you can create a pretty damn solid community that can come together every once in a while to chit chat about this. That's how we became friends.
Yeah.
Was
Mhm.
just we were so damn similar when it came to the grind and our just feelings for movies. And next thing you know, best friends ever.
Best of friends.
Right here,
Yeah.
right over.
We can call
We
it
just gotta go visit them once in their hometown,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
because they've come here, but it's like we haven't.
We want to
after
get a
this,
house this year,
once you
so
get- yeah.
Ooh.
guys come over. Live with
Housewarming and
us.
Barbecue.
House-
No,
Housewarming.
just live over here. You don't need to live over. Come over here.
We got a bunch
It's
of
expensive here.
board games.
PJ lives down the road. Tim Franco's
Oh,
over
that's
here. We
right.
got plenty
Oh,
of Chance Ellison, but he's right down there. Everyone's over here.
Everybody.
We'll have our own little
now,
YouTube reactor council.
Our own
There you
community.
go.
It'll be like we'll just have our own little council, and every now and again we'll get different members of the council to come
You know,
and join
those-
us for
all
spoiler
those-
talks.
All those YouTubers get like YouTube houses where they all live together and vlog.
Oh, yeah.
Like we just the reactor house, just
Oh.
different sets in different rooms, and we all just kind of
So-
intermingle, jump
That
in.
would be a lot of fun.
The
I
YouTube
would
world
love it.
instead of the real world, we'll just call it the YouTubers
I
world.
would love that.
The internet bill would be
Reactors world.
atrocious.
I like it.
Be like, get up! Everyone's uploading at the same time. Damn it! Can't get my
You need your own
WandaVision
Wi-Fi. You
reaction.
need your own Wi-Fi. We have 5 different routers in the house.
Yeah.
So are you guys sad though? Like this is kind of a new precedent when it comes to these Marvel shows. Like, are you sad that that's it? WandaVision as it is, I feel like can't really ever be a show again, because she will take this and move on to a cinematic level. And there's going to be so many other characters that they're going to use this show format to flush out and grow to push into the full cinematic universe, much like the fish in the bag, and you put the bag in the tank before you let it loose with the rest of the fish in the aquarium. Like, I feel like that's just how they're easing these characters into the big cinematic world, to where you'll drop money to go watch them in a Doctor Strange 2 type deal.
Right.
Yeah. Honestly,
Like, does that make you sad?
Me personally, no. I actually love the idea that we can now get these longer cinematic movies, in a sense. And the fact that they're not going to be like, oh, you know what, WandaVision did really good, let's make a WandaVision season 2, and it doesn't quite connect, but because they're planning to tell, this is the story we want to tell, this is the chunk, this is the beginning, middle, and end, and that's all we're planning to tell in this series. If they keep on pushing it more than it really could contain, like WandaVision really does need to kind of end. It's kind of told its story, it's gotten all of its elements out, and pushing it to go further, I think, would be not good. It would kind of drag on something that the whole purpose of this was to introduce these characters, to bring this world together, and to understand a little bit more here and there. And that's it. And now we can get all of these different stories. We're now pretty much getting, what is that, like 8-hour-long movies? 7. So I love seeing that. And if they different series can connect, then I love it. I think like Falcon and the Winter Soldier might be able to go on for maybe 2-3 seasons, 2 seasons. Yeah. But then you still have these one-off series, which I think is brilliant.
She-Hulk, Moon Knight.
Well, She-Hulk, I still think could be a continuing series.
Miss Marvel.
But you could introduce more and more just little standalone series, and the ones that go on for season 2, season 3. Yeah. It gives you a lot more flexibility, I personally think.
And it would make it more fulfilling when all these, TV show characters, just the ones that grew up on TV rather than showing up in the movies first, where they can go on and show up in the ensemble films. And you're like, freaking She-Hulk is there kicking some ass. And then she goes back to her episodic, courtroom show. So, I mean, it's definitely, it's better for them. It's better for those characters, because you do kind of keep us tapped in. But I feel like I kind of wonder at some point, is there going to be characters where I'm like Danny Rand, Iron Fist on Netflix, where it was a struggle for me to get through. And when is that going to happen? When they're just throwing too much at us, and it just feels like the heart is lost, because, they're hiring writers and directors, and sometimes you end up getting some that don't end up hitting the mark. Right. So it worries me just a little bit. This new world of television watching that they're creating. But at the same time, I'm hoping, because there are no multiple seasons and it's just a one and done, you don't get that heartache of, our season got canceled, or they end it and we're not going to make it anymore before you could finish the story. Like, I feel like, okay, we need to tell the story. It's going to take 2 seasons. Let's go. So ahead of time, everybody knows what you're getting, and then it morphs into something completely different. For that, I think it's genius, and it's got far more longevity of storytelling. And Star Wars is doing that too, because they're saying, I don't know where it came out, but I think it was saying that
it's going to be just the one.
Just one. Series. And Boba Fett, the book of Boba Fett, was more than likely going to be just one, unless it does well, then they can do more. Yeah. But Mandalorian gets different seasons. Yeah. So I feel like this is going to be a staple for Disney Plus, this storytelling.
I think because not just because of COVID, but also because of the technology and the direction that we were going as audience members, is the fact that we are just going to see this huge shift in how we are now getting our media, since we now have all of these different streaming services, and it's just so much more readily available. You can now tell these stories that you're like, well, we couldn't tell these stories normally because it doesn't really fit in just one movie. You'd need like multiple movies to tell this story. And it doesn't really fit into like a TV show, because you have to follow it through all the way to the end, kind of a thing. So I think that this is just a brilliant opportunity that we are now given on being able to get different kinds of stories and different kinds of media.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm like sad because I feel like this story needs to end somewhere. But I'm excited that this kind of like what you guys have already said, like it opens up the doors to flesh out certain characters who may not have that time in certain movies to get that arc and the growth, or as a way, like kind of the example that Robert used for She-Hulk, for her to like, so maybe she doesn't need a standalone movie quite yet. Let's use the show as her jumping off point to then maybe put her in a movie, and then she can go back to like having a procedural TV show, which would be fantastic.
Yeah, there's also, with that being addressed, during Iron Man 2, everyone was going, well, where's Captain America? Why didn't he come and help out Iron Man, kind of a thing? We can now go, well, actually, they were off doing this adventure in the TV show. Why don't you go and watch that? Yep. Kind of a thing. So it just gives them so many more opportunities.
Get the plug, Rebecca.
Okay.
Oh, they were busy.
Kind of the same.
Lost you. Technical difficulties.
No, it's kind of the same thing when we're talking about like, okay, where is the timeline of the Winter or Falcon and the Winter Soldier compared to WandaVision? Like, are they happening at the same time? And that's why they're kind of doing their own thing, and they can't really come and help with what's happening with Wanda. And then, you know, back in Far From Home, when he's talking to Fury, and he's like, well, why don't you get Captain Marvel? Why don't you get Doctor Strange? And he's like, oh, they're somewhere else, you know, they're not there. So, you know, you got those answers. Yeah.
Answered.
There you go.
Past tense.
Answered. My final question to everybody who is watching, including Robert and Vanessa and Dustin, is what happened to the Beekeeper?
Yeah.
He's
dead.
He's a nobody.
I think we just stamped him out. Get out.
Yeah, he's a nobody. And I think I saw a comment where somebody's like, well, does he have powers since he went through the hex too? I feel like it took Monica multiple times through the hex to be able to get her powers. So something's probably changed in him, but
he was wearing like a suit.
He was
as
wearing
he was going through
suit.
too. He was wearing a protective suit. So I don't think that he or like anybody in that got powers or anything like that. I think it's because Monica did go, you know, back and forth between those, that she was able to get her powers there.
But again, storyline, I don't like those just cause story tropes. So
she kind of had it already.
If it's like, oh, he's there, oh, what happened to him? Like it could have been so easy just to throw him in the background, and you're like, oh shit, he's part of the crew now.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I mean, we never saw his face or anything. So
he's like at a stall selling honey.
Yeah. See, there you go. You wrote it. There's the answer. It's that easy, Marvel.
Also with Monica, I mean, because I'm theorizing that they will explain it a little bit more, because she was also changed when she came out of it. Because, you know, Monica, when she came out of the hex, being bamfed out by Wanda, is that they were saying, oh, wow, you know, these x-rays didn't work. These tests I have to do again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe it's the fact that she was also snapped. She also had contact with Carol Danvers when she was really young. Maybe it's like the combination of all of these things. But yeah, it's one of those things that you're just like, it wasn't explained to us, my satisfaction kind of thing. It just really did leave it hanging, much like the Beekeeper.
Selling honey to AIM, says Rob Elba.
To AIM, yeah.
Yeah, see, AIM, that whole thing where we're like, oh, it's hexagons, AIM. Like, that makes sense.
No
AIM
MODOK.
versus sword. And no, it was just sword.
I mean, they could bring them and be like, Hydra is now AIM.
Yeah.
No, true.
Yeah, I think the Beekeeper just got absorbed, and everything else, if there's an easy answer for it, that was probably what happened.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, but at the same time, they're spending a lot of money doing a lot of things in these shows. So you would think that not covering every aspect of it and leaving it up to your imagination is not something that I hold against them. Although I feel like I want to know the damn answers. Tell them to me.
Yeah.
Tell them to me.
Give me all the info.
Tell me the answers.
Tell me why.
Tell me what. If they bring out like a box set for WandaVision, right? Make it a little sideways TV. So it's like really cute. You know those stickers that you move back and forth and they like change to color and like black and white. And then they could do like behind the scenes, deleted scenes, and then it gives us all the answers.
Mm-hmm. Well, it could have been like what is it when she had the Dick Van Dyke box? how it looked like the front of a TV.
But it's Wanda.
But it was the collector's
Vision.
vision. Yeah, but make it Wanda and Vision. WandaVision,
cute.
yeah.
I'd pay for it.
I'd buy it.
I'd buy it.
We'd buy it. Look, we guys, we love the show so much, and we had a really good time chatting with everybody, of course, in the chat, and Robert and Vanessa about this. Any final thoughts on WandaVision that we didn't get to talk about today?
It was a hell of a time. It was a hell of an experience. I love that we got to go from Mandalorian to Cobra Kai for us. Mandalorian, Cobra Kai, WandaVision, and then that they're still going to give us more down the line with Falcon and Winter Soldier, and of course Loki. I just feel like I don't know, we're very lucky and fortunate to have all these badass stories so easily available to us in a world that we live in right now.
I'm glad that they did not kill Agatha Harkness, or that she's not gone. She's just there, and that they can bring her back. I just love, hiya, hon. I love that whole scene where she like.
But the hex vanished, so shouldn't she go back to being normal?
But like,
but she did it to her directly.
She did it.
So why couldn't she do that to Vision and the kids?
Yeah.
Well, because it was just a change done to Agatha, who has no powers anymore. So she's just changing her mind, I guess, you know. I would think since the hex is gone, now I can do a different spell on just you. And now you're going to be staying in this real neighborhood as the Snoopy neighbor kind of thing.
And everyone in the neighborhood's like, there's that bitch witch that was causing all that problem. Oh, hey, how's it going?
I have another question for you guys. This is Dustin's question, and I had it in the back of my head to remember to ask you guys. Where do you think Agatha was when the hex went up? Was she somewhere else? Was she in Salem and she felt the pull of that, like, you know, very powerful magic, and then traveled to Westview? But then if she was outside of the hex when it went up, how did she get through it? Like, that's something that Dustin wanted to ask all of you guys before we go.
Yeah, I think that she felt it. I think that she wasn't anywhere near the hex, and that she did feel or felt the story, and she came through the hex. Like, she has the ability to come through the hex itself, just like she has the ability to take over, fake Pietro in that story. Let's see.
This is something we talked about in the comment section. We talked about it the other day.
Oh, yeah.
But
yes, I do think that that she felt it, and she came into the hex when it was already happening.
The Far From Home witch references.
Witches.
With JB Smooths, where he's just talking about the witches. Like, it does make it so much better now, because technically that takes place after this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, having him talking about the witches, the witch fighting, the witch battles. I think she was in New Salem. Is that what it was called? The little town that she came up with in, like, Colorado?
Yeah, but
we looked it up on the map where how far Salem is in proximity to.
And how far, because she, what is it called? Agatha shows up pretty quickly in episode one. She's like, it's like they have like a little bit of a talk, and then Agatha just busts in and is like, howdy neighbor, kind of a thing. And I'm like, wait a second, if she had to travel all of that distance, kind of a thing, to get there, I would think that she would have shown up a little bit later in the show.
It's true. I don't know if the show started right away, because if you think about it, they're sitting there watching television, and then the first thing we see is them rolling up in the vehicle, like going into the house. So I feel like maybe, it started out with them just living there, and then evolved into episodes in her head, and it started forming, and that's when Agatha found a place to just slip right in when these episodes were happening. So, and I don't know, obviously it felt like some of those episodes had happened before. So these people just play the part multiple times.
True, because
reruns.
There's like that whole thing with Darcy when they're trying to get in contact with her, where she says, it looks like there's that radio where she washes the dishes once per episode. So it felt like there was more episodes than what we were actually seeing. So maybe she kind of does the same episodes until she kind of gets tired of them, and then she changes up to the next show that she wants to be a part of.
How the hell did she change that basement so fast, though? I mean, that basement looks like it's been lived in for a while too. So
yeah, true.
Yeah.
Magic. Yeah, she's magic.
Magic user, baby. Woo-woo.
So once again, questions that were not answered to our satisfaction, kind of a thing. Just like, wait, what's going on with the bee guy? How did she get there? How did she get her household built like that?
Who knows?
So yeah, it's one of those things that's just like, maybe we'll get answers and maybe we won't.
Yeah, but
Man
lots more to
cave.
look forward to. The
The man
man
cave.
cave. That headshot is everything, though. I wonder if that's an actual Evan Peters, like
I think it is when he was
older
really
headshot,
young.
and then they just like switched out the name, or they actually asked him, to give him like just take another picture of him or something like that. Because that's what, like, I mean, my headshots kind of look like that. So it's kind of funny. 2 more super chats before we say goodbye. We have one from Elvin, who writes
Thanks,
new,
Elvin.
TV. There we go. My visions are like blurred for a second. The new TV vision, my vision. The new TV Plus film MCU makes me wish we got a 2010 MCU show about the Warriors 3 before 2011 Thor. Oh,
That actually would have been really cool to be able to have, if we had like access to Disney Plus back in between Iron Man 1 and 2, between
They can do
Thor
it
1
now.
and 2, and tell those stories. So people, when they were like, well, where's Captain America? Well, here's a Disney Plus show telling where Captain America was between this time and why he was like, sorry, Tony, you're on your own. The whole Mandarin thing.
Yeah.
But unfortunately it wasn't there, and I'm glad they have it now so they can flush them out. So yes,
Better late than never.
yeah,
Yeah.
why not?
They can
Why
be late to
not?
the party.
And it would be cool to be able to get like a Warriors 3 kind of a Disney Plus show.
Sorry.
I still think we're gonna get Lady Sif.
Yeah.
Oh, she better come back. She was so cool.
Yeah,
Love her so
she's
much.
still around.
She's
Technically.
Yeah,
She was
fantastic.
even on an episode of Agents of Shield
She
as well.
was,
Too,
yeah.
so.
Yeah, exactly. Bring her back.
Yep.
We also have another super chat from Eduardo. Thank you so much,
Woo,
Eduardo.
Eduardo.
Hi guys, and thanks for this. I have theory that maybe everyone came back from the blip, got the X gene from it.
Oh,
Possible.
and then we just need everyone who came back from the blip has the X gene,
Mhm.
but now it just needs something to activate it, kind of a thing. So if you're maybe like a baby and you got BAMF back,
Mm.
you could grow into the X gene because it doesn't mature until puberty. But people who have already passed that need a little bit of extra, need just a little bit of a push, like saying having contact with Wanda's magic,
Yeah.
kind of a thing.
Yep.
That's
Or
a
they
cool
just-
theory.
Or they just blip back into existence, and
Oh,
we
that's
ended
true.
up,
And
and we
then-
ended up having
and we
Monica
need to take
just
our head
transform.
cannon and bloop away from it.
If you go back and watch
Right.
our reaction, I was convinced that she had her power before going through there. Like
Monica,
I felt like Monica
that
already.
she already kind of knew that there
Yeah.
was something there, and that's why it kind of took hold more so when she was
Yeah.
going through
It
the
felt more
hex.
like an
Oh.
activation than
Yeah.
it did a birthing
right
of a power. But that was what I picked up.
But I feel like maybe that could be because, like they said, she was grounded. So she was in space before. So she might
Yeah.
have. See, now I'm bringing it back where she kind of
Yeah.
might have already had it, but it was more prevalent now.
Dude,
when she was going through the hex.
it makes me stoked for Captain Marvel too, though.
Yeah.
Really, because I need to know more about WandaVision.
And I'm excited to see Miss Marvel as well because she's going to tie into Captain Marvel too.
Oh,
So
I can't wait. It's gonna be fantastic.
be
And
great.
like, why is there beef between Carol and Monica? There's some
yeah, like
And the
there wa-
scrolls.
and the scrolls because they do say don't invoke her name in Far From Home, and that was the scroll Nick Fury. So something
Mhm.
happened.
lots of really fun, really interesting things to kind of look forward to. So, we'll probably continue to talk about this just, in the days to come, just because I still need to process it. But after this, we are going to get Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and you guys are planning to do the same format, right? Like
100%.
yeah.
We're gonna do our reactions just like you guys. We film them as soon as it hits the air, and then I stay up all night. Wendy stays up all night, and we edit and upload them.
At least
And
it will
text
be
each
an
other.
hour earlier for us now because we're going to be in the,
The time
daylight time
change.
change.
Yeah, for us it's 1 a.m. when we start filming.
Because of the
Mm.
stupid spring forward, fall back thing.
Yeah,
Right, because
exactly.
we don't get
We
it.
don't change. We
don't
always stay
change.
the
We always
same.
stay the same.
No one
but
that is
That's the way it should
doing
be.
It's so dumb.
yeah,
it
the
should.
shows itself changed because of it being part of the Pacific time that does change. We'll be able to do it because we'll be on the same time as you guys.
Although theoretically, if everybody stayed the same the way it should be, we
be
would always be 1
at
a.m.
1 o'clock.
Yeah, because you guys would always be an hour. It makes sense. You're pretty far away from us. An hour time change away from us. But
right.
yeah, we're gonna do the same format for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Everyone's been showing up to these reactions across the board. It's been amazing.
It's been awesome. So you guys don't forget to check out Late to the Party. I linked there. Let me just double check that I got the link correct, but I believe I linked it in the description box below where you can find them on the, yes, I did. So go ahead and give them a follow. We love them. They're some of our best friends in the whole world. So we appreciate you guys coming and like getting to talk nerd stuff with us. And I'm ready to see Vanessa in like full, when Loki comes around, in her like full Loki.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm doing the pilot.
I'm going ambitious and doing 2 different versions with Loki for that. Ooh. I also I just got my Loki for president.
Yes.
I have 2 versions, one for me, and then he can have the smaller one. And then I want the WandaVision outfit. So hopefully that's going to come too.
How badass would it be? We just put a little thing. It just popped in my head where she's rocking the Loki thing, walking out, and then with a pompous look comes over and puts a button on me and then walks away, like vote for me, and just puts it on. So
that's your new intro.
Yeah,
that's your new intro for all the Loki reactions.
It's gonna be huge. Loki, I feel like that's the pinnacle of the show reactions for Marvel is WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Loki is going to be massive. So
it's going to be, I don't even know what to expect. Expect nothing and anticipate everything.
Yeah.
Because it's also completely off the page kind of thing, because it's like, since Loki is now, it's a different Loki than what a different timeline, it is so off the rails that we have no idea what to kind of compare it to. So I'm just super excited to get this story.
So excited. Can't wait. So you guys make sure you tune into our channel as well as Late to the Parties. Don't forget to like both of our channels, or like this video, like both of our channels. And of course, subscribe to both if you haven't already. What are you doing? Thank you guys so much all for showing up today, hanging out with us. We had an awesome time. Thank you to Robert and Vanessa for joining us.
Poke his shot. His shot.
Give me
some of the vaccine.
We have like a bag of chips, and then we move it over, and then you guys bring that back.
That'd be funny. Like, I'm gonna hand you guys my phone.
Here you go. Oh, wait, not yet.
Oh wait. Okay.
Here you go.
Oh,
we're like lame to the party.
Oh my gosh, we love you guys. Thank you so much for your time, and we will see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.